Hey guys, welcome back to part 3 of the Miata hardtop build. Today I'm going to show you guys how I went from this to this. Stay tuned. Alright, so something I just did off camera is I laid a strip of fiberglass here, and that really just increases the total strength of this trunk piece, and especially where we're going to be mounting the trunk latch here. We want it pretty strong on this end, so we're ready to go ahead and install some riv nuts for that and get the trunk mounted. Okay, so while putting the riv nuts in for the latch for the trunk, I drilled these holes in the wrong location twice, and the trunk latch just won't close properly. So just to show you my mistakes and that it's not the end of the world if you get these riv nuts in the wrong location, what I'm going to do is I'm cutting these out, and if you get it kind of close and you don't want it to fall into a blind hole, you can start to thread it and kind of pop it out like that. By the way, this is what the back of the riv nut looks like on the fiberglass. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to get some new layers of fiberglass over that, make this a lot stronger, and then drill some new riv nuts in the right location this time. Okay, so we've got the trunk latch riveted on. Just make sure everything fits up right. Looks good. So after you prime it, just hit it with some 300 grit on the orbital sander, and then you really can see where a lot of the mistakes you had were at. Like for example, right here is a high spot, and it looks like it's a little low there on either side. All this fiberglass down here needs a little body filler, and just shows all your mistakes and points them out so that you can find them a little easier and keep smoothing it all out. So I went ahead and gave it a quick coat with the turbo cans, just to kind of point out where the mistakes are in the bodywork. Everything looks generally pretty good. I'm gonna still need to sand this down with some 300 grit, but one area in particular that bothers me is where it transitions from the top to the trunk. You can kind of see where the line doesn't quite line up, and you can feel that it's not a straight line. You can really see it here. Just kind of an indent right there before it transitions to the hardtop. If you take a straight edge, it really stands out. You can see the gap there. So we're gonna go ahead and fix that. We're gonna fill this in with some body filler all along this entire gap, and then recut with the Dremel a new gap that's gonna have a nice even gap all the way across, and this will transition a lot better. Okay, so after the first coating of body filler, you can already see it's a lot smoother. I still have a low spot here, and if you do the straight edge trick, you can still see a little gap there. So we'll add a little bit more body filler there. And then over here on this side, still got a little ways to go as well. And then after we get done doing that, we'll make a cut along the edge of the top here and separate the two pieces and get it all painted up. Make sure everything looks good. Okay, so at this point you just sand and paint and repeat until you're happy with the way it looks. Then you can go ahead and mount the windows, which I will show you how I did that here in a second. In my case, I wanted to go ahead and respray the entire car, and I'm not the best painter, as you can see right here. So I went ahead and sent the car off to get resprayed professionally. Now obviously this is not included in the $500 to build the hardtop, because it's not required, but it is the route that I took. Okay, so what I'm doing now is I'm mounting up the seals around the door. I've already got this side done. Looks like it seals up pretty good. So now we're going to move on to the driver's side. And what I'm using is the soft top mounting brackets and rubber gaskets that go along with it. And whenever you get your mounting bracket mounted, you want your window to line up pretty much the exact same, but with a little bit of offset on the inside so you have room for your gasket in there. So when you're installing the rubber piece, this part just slides down in here, and then make sure you get this groove seated on this side first. And then push it in on the left side. And then you're good to go. And with that, we're done. So now I just need to clean it all up and I'll do a walk around. But first I wanted to remind you what this looked like at the beginning of the project. It's a pretty big difference and I'm happy with the way this thing came out. I think it's a pretty fun project that anyone that is patient can do, and you can also save quite a bit of money versus buying an aftermarket Fastback hardtop. Let me know in the comments what you think. If you're taking on this project currently, feel free to message me on Instagram or Etsy if you have any questions. I'm happy to help anybody that wants to do this project. Thanks for watching.